Today is going to be a great day. I am Nikki G, your host, and welcome to the Lone Doctrine, the food for thought exploration station and your place in making today better than yesterday. In wrapping up this month, I hope you've gotten a well-rounded idea of what productivity in self-development means. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the exploration station where we venture out to find all the food for thought life has to offer in order to live our best life. Sound a little cheesy? Well, I bet if someone said, "Hey, do you want to live the best life ever?" and really meant it, I would guess most people would say yes. We talked about what productivity is, meaning the input resulting in the output of our lives. What are we doing to create everyday habits that will help us live a more meaningful life? You can think of this as emotional productivity. You may not realize it, but it's a crucial need, but it's constantly being overwhelmed with pressure, unrealistic expectations, and it's not what most people view as production. Functional production you can find in factories and work stats and places where things can be measured, monitored, and controlled. Emotional well-being can't necessarily be measured. We're in a world where we're constantly engaging. We're constantly being told to do more, be more. But what if our best self isn't about this outlandish output? What if finding our best selves required us to slow down, to find windows where we can take a breath and recharge throughout every day, even in every moment? If you've just tuned in, I invite you to go back in the archives because although we've talked about many different ways to stay productive that are actionable, one aspect I've had to learn, sometimes the hard way, is to slow down. Even just saying slow down puts me on edge. I have worked from a very young age and I've always had this sense of urgency. Some of it was created from unfortunate circumstances, but a lot was this perfectionist mindset and even fearful mindset. There was a time in my life, and sometimes I get caught up in the old habit, where I was working at all times and I still felt like it wasn't enough. It literally got to the point where I would barely eat. I wouldn't see friends. Every time I would have to do something other than my work, I would feel this huge rush of fear, of feeling like I'd be missing my chance. But for what? It turns out I was waiting in line for panic attacks, being chronically sick, and so much more. So even though, yes, it's important to have a tool set in place for your life that will work for you, whether it be in action or recharging, finding your personal balance is so important. I say every month at some point, and the core foundation of the Lone Doctrine is just that, lone. It doesn't mean alone or a loner. It's harnessing your own truth and writing your doctrine and creating a fulfilling life. It's a balance between all aspects of doing and sometimes not doing. Now, the not doing doesn't mean, oh, cool, I can just sit around on the couch and do nothing and everything I've always wanted will come to me without having to lift a finger.
No.
The not doing is the rest, the recharge, the faith in your work, the time, the patience, and the forgiveness, which in a sense I've discovered is doing. When you're working yourself into the ground, it may give you a sense of control. It may even feel super productive, but as living proof, it will lead you to a burnout. It's time to find your pace, which can be a work in progress. I know I still work on it almost daily. As you dive deeper into emotional productivity, consider this as you move forward. We work, we commute, we sit in traffic, we barely get lunch breaks, we're eating on the go, and then there's a whole set of to-dos when we get home. Sometimes life feels out of control. So when it does, that's the sign it's time to slow down. Here's a great quote by Jim Goodwin. "The time to relax is when you don't have time for it." I've learned firsthand, and I'll admit, I didn't believe it at first, that taking a breath can lower stress. It helps gain more clarity, whether in particular situations or overall. You can come up with new ideas and become more creative. You can connect more to the moment. Your relationships flourish. You feel better. You have more energy, and I could keep going. The benefits are endless. So to wrap up this month, I really hope you'll take all the food for thought we've shared and start to create your ultimate recipe in making today better than yesterday. What's your pace? What's your flow? Or as Lily Tomlin says, for fast-acting relief, try slowing down. Thank you so much for tuning in, and before we play the following message, I want to thank you for your support. We are a listener-supported podcast, and we've partnered up with Patreon, which is a platform that helps creators keep creating. We hope you'll help us to reach our goal of making this a full-time mission in making today, this moment, better than yesterday, and offering more to serve you better. Even $1 means the world to us, and if you found value in our podcast or even gained just a light bulb moment, we'd appreciate your support. Thank you for being you. If you found value in the Lone Doctrine, we would be so grateful for your support. We've partnered up with Patreon, which is a place where you can help us stay on air and keep our doors open in supporting our listeners in making today better than yesterday. Thank you for your consideration, your support, and a very special thank you to our current Patreons who make the Lone Doctrine possible. We hope to see you at patreon.com/Lone Doctrine. patreon.com/Lone Doctrine. Until next time, keep fighting the good fight.
It's a great